Hi everyone and welcome to the Sania Farooqui show. Today we have with us Nadia Helmy Ahmed. She is one amongst the first few Muslim boxers hailing partly from Denmark and Egypt. She has been in the sport for more than 15 years and is a Muslim ambassador for an organization called Global Fund for Women. Nadia challenges the notion of how Muslim women should act and has been empowering young girls of Western Aarhus by teaching them boxing for years. She says she's passionate about boxing and empowering young girls, and she does this by sharing her passion with them. Thank you, Nadia. It's wonderful to have you on the Sania Farooqui show today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sania, for having me.
So, Nadia, tell me, could you tell me a little about yourself? How old were you when you started boxing? Were your family and friends supportive in your journey? How did boxing happen in your life?
Boxing happened as a coincidence. It just fell into my life, and then I just fell in love with it from the start. I think I was uh, 15, yeah, around 14, 15 years old when I started. Of course, in the beginning, my family and my friends, they didn't understand why I wanted to do like this masculine sports, but I have always been like a little bit of a rebellion, you could say. So I didn't listen to what they were saying. I just followed my own path and what made me happy. So I kept on in the path by pursuing boxing and surrounding myself with all these very interesting people and these athletes who live their life as I think it should be lived, like happily and yeah.
Yeah. And you have stepped into a sphere that is entirely dominated by men. Have you ever been subjected to gender discrimination, sexism? Have you been called a female boxer rather than a boxer?
Yes, yes, yes to all of the questions. I think, of course, it's not easy being a female in a predominantly male-dominated sports. And actually, the gym I trained in, I was the only girl for many years. So it was me, and then 10 around 10 other boys who were so I was the only girl.
And
So
you were training with the boys.
excuse me,
And you were training with the boys.
I was training with the boys as well, yes. So they we in a gym you get very close, so they were all my very close friends, and we had, of course, in the beginning they were like kind of testing me, why is a girl here and why is she coming here and what is like her agenda. But when they found out that I were just like them, then they started to accept me, and then it created like lifelong friendships that I couldn't live without. So they started to also take care of me and protect me and think that all of these things that are in a gym when you are so close. So it was very safe for me growing up among these boys. Actually, yeah.
So, what does boxing mean to you? What is it that has kept it with you for so long?
Boxing is everything. It's a way of life. It's the way you think. I think it's not only boxing, but all of these like martial arts sports. It's the combination of the mind and the body. It's very like it's a small picture of the life itself, I think, and it's all of these things like pushing yourself to the limits, figuring out like when you think you can't do anything more, then there's always a little bit more to give in the physical, how do you say it, um, you can always give a little bit more in the gym and in the sessions, and
Yeah.
these make you strong in your mind as well. So it gives you everything that you can use in your work life, in your everyday life as well, because it shows you that when you are learning how to conquer your mind and be willpower, that is it's a thing you can use also outside of boxing, I think.
Yeah. And you've been very vocal about the existential crisis you've witnessed and how tired you feel to prove that you're Danish and you're a Muslim. So tell us about what life has been and instances where you felt this or you were compelled to continuously prove your identity or your religion or where you come from, about your background.
Yes, of course, it's not easy when you are. How can you say? I think I have, by living my life the way that I choose, I've challenged the norms and the expectations of what a Muslim woman should look like and what she should do and what is her goals in life. So I've chosen another way and another path for me, and I think that of course that it breaks the norms and it challenges the local communities also in how they perceive me and what they could and maybe it also scares them a little bit, because if women like me not only talk about like challenging the patriarchy but also doing it in the way of living, then it's like it's maybe it can scare some people maybe.
Yeah. And what kind of backlash have you faced from within your community? Is it family, relatives? Is it social? How did you deal with it?
I think I'm lucky that my family always supported me. Even though we have had a lot of talks about what is right and wrong and uh, what is good for Muslim women to do and what's expected, then they, but even though they have always like stand behind my back and like supported me in my choices, so it has been mostly from the community and from social gatherings. But long time ago, one of my friends, he told me don't think about what other people think about you. If you're living your life for yourself, and it's very important that to do something that makes you happy, because you are the one who has to live with the choices. So, and that sticks with me. So I always think about that when I meet some like obstacles in the way. That okay, what makes me happy? It makes me happy to go to the gym and be around these people who have the same passion as me. Okay, but then that's fine by me. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not how can I say it? I'm not doing anything like hidden. I'm very open about my choices, and I think that's important. Also, if you want to change some of the expectations and the norms in these communities, yeah.
Now, time and again, debates on Muslim sportswomen have stirred controversy around the world. We've seen debates over why it's inappropriate for a woman to participate in a certain sport, what to wear, what not to wear. Have you faced any such discrimination based on your religion or identity, especially when you entered, with your boxing gloves, and you have been an elite boxer yourself? So it's, something you've been doing for so long.
Of course, there's been obstacles both from the Muslim community, but also from the how can you say it, the main Danish community, because it's also sometimes it's about not knowing about the other. So all this like what can you wear, how much clothes how much skin can you show in a boxing fight? It's all of these things you can move around it. And when I started boxing, it was not allowed to wear a scarf in a boxing fight, but they changed that rule some years ago, I think. So now we women and girls, they can also enter a match. So it's like changing, but in small steps. But of course, when you are standing in before a tournament that you have to do the weigh-in, the weigh-in is often very public. So how can you stand on a on a scale and still with your clothes on? All of these things, like, but I think you learn to, and that's not only me as a Muslim girl. That's for also Danish girls who don't want to like show everything on a scale in front of a lot of men. So all of these things, you learn how to cope with it and like work around it. But it's not easy, of course not.
Yeah, yeah. You've also started coaching young girls. What led you to start this initiative? How important do you think it is for young girls to get into sports? And then also, you're trying to push them into boxing. How does that enable them? Teach them to be assertive or more confident. How has that helped?
I think it was when I started, it was my mission just to empower them by using their body and showing them how much they can achieve, and how easy it is to improve yourself in every aspect.
Yeah.
So this is self-confidence and working with yourself, but together with other people, because it's like this in boxing that it's you against yourself, but it's not only something you do alone. You do it together with other people as well. So it's also like this relationship building between the girls, and I think that's very important. And everybody know I don't have to talk about the health benefit there is in using your body and being physically active. So creating this platform for these girls where they can come and be themselves and have fun and using their bodies. And I use boxing because that's what I know and what I love. So it was easy for me like to transfer this passion onto other girls. So it was.
Tell us how an evening of taking a class looks like. Like, do you do it indoors? Do you do it outdoors? What do you make them do? What is there a set training program that you make them follow? And for how long have you been doing this?
I have been teaching for around 10 years, I think, and it's always indoors. Also because in Denmark the weather is not that good, so we are indoors. And of course I teach girls who are predominantly Muslim, and most of them they are wearing the hijab in different only some of them only the scarf, and all others of them also the jilbab and the full Islamic dress. Yeah. So it's very important for me to create also this safe space, to make sure that the doors are locked, that there are no men inside, and all this, so they can be free and feel safe, and take off their scarves so they can easily move around. So that's what we start with, and then we start with the warming up and some drills for, how do you say it, I'm sorry, my English is so bad.
No, it's fine.
The technical drills, yeah, and then we finish up with the physical drills, where you get the cardio and the a little bit more high speed, pace drills, yeah. So it's always the technical thing first, because then you are fresh in your mind and you're not too tired, and then the physically hard things at the end. Yeah.
What would you? Sorry.
No, it's okay. And then we always have some time at the end to stretch and talk about different topics, because I've learned that when you are only girls together, something happens. Like, it's a different community that's created. It's a different way these girls are talking together compared with if they were male present or something. So it's also like a free space where you can talk about anything, not only the sports, but also things in life or education or things at home or whatever just pops in mind.
So what would your message be for aspiring boxers, from all over the world, all young girls who probably have watched you or are learning from you, or will watch the show and would want to go learn?
I think my message would be not to give up, and just keep on and following your dreams. And if it makes you happy, then that's the only thing that's important, actually. So don't listen to all of these stories about what you should be or not should be, because you decide who you should be. And the world, uh, the world can handle everybody. How can I say it? Like, there's not only one way to be a human being. We are all different. So
Yeah. So my last question for you is, what does box like a girl, box like a Muslim girl mean to you? Now, this is a very famous hashtag we often see on social media, run like a girl. I often use that. So what
yeah.
does box like a girl and box like a Muslim girl mean, and what does it represent to you?
I had at one time I had a very good female coach, actually, and she had a T-shirt that said "Look like a girl and hit like a bitch," and I think that's like. And I always think about that because I think that she's right. Look like a girl. When you are in a male-dominated world, it's very important. It was also for my family very important that don't be like this tomboy. Remember that you are still a girl. So all of this, like, look like a girl and act like you are like your gender, but you can still when you are in the ring, it's like the other person is also coming to win. So then you don't have there's no room to be nice. So then it's another way to be a woman. I think that's also like punch like a girl. It means like you have to find something else from within, the will to want to win, because the other one is also, it's always come down to the will and how you are, your mind is ready for you to win.
Yeah, amazing. Nadia, it's been amazing, amazing, amazing chatting with you, and it's very inspiring what you have done and what you're continuing to do. So thank you so much for joining us today on the Sania Farooqui show. It was truly wonderful talking to you. For those of you who have tuned in, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.